Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me, as always, is Mr. Bobby Blunts. Bobby, did we witness maybe the greatest UFC production fight? Walkout. I mean, all of it at UFC Freedom 250 on Sunday. I don't think you could have hit a bigger home run than they hit on Sunday. And I mean, they crushed it. I've watched that Justin Gaethje walkout 20 fucking times. You know what I mean? It's nonstop. It is one of the reasons why we love this sport. Seven knockouts. I mean, not one fight went into only one fight went into the third round, and that was the main event. Incredible. I thought the band stole the show, and Dana White said today, Donald Trump was going to give him a fight bonus, and he was going to match the bonus because, the fights were the stars, but Jesus, the band, incredible. I didn't even know. I thought that was piped in Drake music. I guess they said that was the band too. That's what Dana said today. Maybe he would know. I don't know, but I thought it was piped in. I thought it was audio. Did you not? Did you think so?
You heard that on McAfee or what?
Yeah, that's what he said on McAfee. Yeah.
I was under the impression the Zahabi walkout was the only one that was being played on the speaker.
Right. But, I thought so too. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But I mean, incredible. They crushed it. And this is the reason why we love the sport. This is the reason why we get upset though when they're at the Apex this weekend, because it's just like, damn, like you had everything about it. I think even the haters, if they watched it, came away thinking, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of, I would say the whole week in general was a success because they did a really good job at, the press conference being at the memorial. The live weigh-ins was pretty packed. And I appreciated how at the live weigh-ins, they did like individual fighter package for each guy. I mean, like they normally do for like the co-main and stuff, but they really kind of went out of their way to make each fight have a big fight feel. And at the same time, we can say these are our criticisms because I guess we kind of just expect this normally, but we know this is going to be like a one-off, so I don't expect any of this stuff to be the norm. But it was kind of nice to get that a different feel, like with the entrances and stuff. And I just tried to enjoy it because I knew it was literally going to be rare. Because, like you said, this weekend we're back in the Apex, so gotta appreciate the moments when they're given to us. And that does not mean that I condone everything that was happening, but I'm just like the fights and the production itself, I thought that was all a home run.
They crush it. So Rob kind of says here, I think for these major events they should take the week before and the week after off, let it build up and then let it cool. Yeah, I kind of agree with that a little bit. I don't hate that idea, Rob. I think the one you kind of want the week before a little bit to kind of push it, but the week to kind of go from the White House back to from the penthouse back to the outhouse, in the Apex this weekend's a little fucking sad, but it is what it is. To kind of stick with the production, Bobby, At first, I thought O'Malley's entrance was the best with when she was singing Superstar, but now I go back and keep watching the Justin Gaethje and just, I think right when the initial walkout happened, I was like, ain't no grave going to hold me down. This man's about to get buried on the White House lawn, right? Like, that's what I was thinking as the guy singing Johnny Cash. I'm like, how, I don't know. He's about to dig a grave here and see, but because of how it happened, and what he did has now signified that is maybe one of the best walkouts of all time, right? A 6-1 underdog. He's reading the Declaration of Independence. We all know Justin can't even read. He's just like, I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell they were saying. The walkout, the American flag, all of it. And, to do what he did to Ilia Topuria, that might have been the greatest might have been the greatest, like from what it stood for, everything, the underdog, all of it might have been the greatest singular fight of MMA history, right? Like where they were at, the place, all of it, the whole story behind it, his last crack, right? Like we know this third shot here at the title, nobody gave a shot 6-1, most of us thought, this was it for him. He was going to get knocked out in the first or second round. There's no way he would see a third round. And, there shouldn't have been a fourth round, but that wasn't because, he was the one doing the dirty work.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, and it feels really weird calling it an upset, seeing how the fight itself played out. Cause that, clearly the way Ilya was fighting, he was just walking forward, not setting anything up, just trying to throw all his power. And, Gaethje seemed more than ready for that. I thought Ilya would try to, maybe set stuff up a little bit quicker, but he definitely, and in the press conference and stuff, there was the first time and this was like pre-Hokit, but like Ilya's first answer at the press conference, he just really seemed off. I wasn't sure if it was because of the energy that was at the event that he was just a little nervous at the press conference. But that was kind of the first time in the fight week where I was like, I'm actually feeling pretty confident in Gaethje, because like Gaethje was saying all the right things and seeming very confident, and he pretty much put down exactly what he said at the press conference into the cage. And
Gaethje said he's going to be throwing fucking missiles on the White House lawn, and he was throwing missiles, Bobby. And you mentioned, like, do you think Topuria put so much pressure to get him out of there in the first, and then obviously almost had him out of there in the second, and then just seemed kind of like gassed, by the end of the third? Do you feel like he put the pressure because of the 18-0, I'm going to knock him out in the first round, and just did not seem like the smartest fight style for him to, Gaethje loves these wars, and that's what he thrives in, right? Like he thrives in bringing you into the deepest of deep waters through the 7 cycles of fucking hell, and he's going to put you through it, and you're going to look like it coming out of it.
Yeah. And, the first minute, it really seemed like he was not respecting Gaethje's power at all. And he was just completely walking forward. And they were really trading in that first round.
Right. I actually thought Ilya won the first.
Yeah. I gave it to Gaethje just because at that point, Ilya was showing a lot of damage, like very early too. But it was pretty baffling. The second round is what threw me off the most, because he seemed to really have him hurt Gaethje with those body shots. The Goddard was literally looking when he fell to the ground to see if he was going to call it off. And I'm not sure if it's because Ilya was tired or he felt more comfortable there, but going in that crucifix and essentially just letting Justin recover to the third round, I think that gave Gaethje even more confidence than he was already feeling. And, obviously the third round was by far Gaethje's best round. That's when I think he broke one of the orbitals with, one of those clean hooks. And, you could just tell that like Trevor Whitman skilled every position and scenario with him. And Gaethje was just one step ahead the entire time. And in between the third and the fourth, I don't know what that was. Just overriding the doctor. I even saw Andy Foster saying that Ilya's kind of earned the right for deep waters. I mean, to me, if the doctor says the guy cannot see, I think the fight should be stopped right there. And essentially, because of that, Ilya went back out there when they said, "Oh no, everything's good. We'll get out of here, doctor. We want to keep the fight going." And crazy enough, like Ilya had one of his better rounds.
Right.
That was also a very kind of close round. But the fact that he was able to rebound after he took that type of damage now is part of that because of the extra 2 minutes he got. because there definitely was some miscommunication. At first, I thought his brother called in the doctor to almost stall for more time. But
Right.
now
Same.
it seemed
Same.
a lot more genuine that he was more concerned for his brother. And yeah, I mean, after he took that knee or body shot, like right at the end of the fourth, he says no mas. And he made the right decision. Like he should not even have gone back out there in that third round. It should have been a TKO or doctor stoppage at the end of the third. But at the same time, at least we got a great moment because, like, even though Ilya took a huge loss, you did also see kind of the dog he had in him being that far gone. I don't know if it was just on autopilot, but being able to still have some successful minutes when you literally look unrecognizable, that was kind of impressive on its own. But obviously, the real story of the night is Justin Gaethje, and I can't think of a fighter like Poirier never was able to do it. I'm very happy that we saw Justin finally get undisputed, and it really you couldn't have scripted the night better. Like as far as results and how everything played out, that what could be better than that?
Right. It was a fucking movie, Bobby. That's all. That's what it comes down to. It was a literally Rocky-esque fucking movie that we saw Sunday. It's just like it literally was like. And before, like you went on TikTok and you could see kind of their the style, right, of like they were doing the Rocky clips with Gaethje and things like that. You mentioned in the second, I thought Ilya was going to get there, and Justin goes back and sits on the stool. He's like, "Them fuck." You hear him say Trevor Whitman, "Them fucking body shots got me." Holy shit, I'm all right though. Like, and Trevor just kind of looked at him, and said, "Stop moving fucking backwards. Like, you got to move forward. That's how we're going to win this fight." And sure enough, like Gaethje listened. And he broke both Ilya's to eyes, orbitals. That's the word I was looking for, and broke both of them. And it was just an incredible scene. And for Ilya to kind of be like, "I'm done." It's just like no mas. And like you mentioned, the doctor coming in. I guess Goddard can be like, "Hey, we're gonna." He was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this." He can, take the doctor's suggestion, which is fucking weird, so you got, but maybe I guess if Ilya was like, "Hey, I can go," and his corner said he can go, but the doctor was the only one that said he couldn't go, is kind of odd, I feel like. But like you said, they probably shouldn't have went out there for the fourth, and it probably did more damage for Justin. I think if he does fight again, which, at this point in time, why not, right? Like you've won your last three fights. He's on a 3-fight winning streak at 37 years old, Bobby. Like he beat Fiziev. He beat the mess out of Patty, and now he beat the mess out of Ilya. And he was counted out, right? Like you sat here and was like, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't have had the interim fight. I probably said the same thing. It should have been Arman. We both kind of said that. We wanted to see, even at the White House, we wanted to see Ilya Islam. We wanted to see Ilya Arman. We never once said we wanted to see Justin, Justin. But by God, he proved every doubter wrong and took the champion. Now he's the lightweight champion. And it's got to be him and Arman if Justin fights again, right? And again, why not? You're on. That was the best. He's looked great, but that was even better.
Yeah, I've never been more happy to be wrong in this instance because it really, especially in reflection on it, I think it's by far the best thing for the sport. Now we don't have to worry about any. We literally got Islam Gary announced today, probably because of this news. Like, they were probably holding off saying, "Well, who?" And now we can, get the fights from Islam that we want to see at 170. Ilya clearly has a lot of work to do to get back at 55. And, ironically, when he was fighting Gaethje, this was the first time that I was thinking, man, I think his power transferred a little better at 145.
I was going to ask you. I think he looked better at 140. I thought he looked small in there. I thought he looked small against Gaethje. Yeah.
Well, he did look small against Gaethje, but the more wild thing is if you compare how he looked in the Oliveira fight, he was significantly bigger than that fight. But at the same time, when you see Gaethje, who is naturally his whole life fought at this weight class, he just seemed like way better at absorbing the damage because Ilya was hitting him with some shots, but he looked like fucking Wolverine out there. Like he had no blood on his face.
Yeah.
And, you know, personally, like I know I have campaigned a long time that it absolutely should be Armin next. I do think that should be the fight and it makes the most sense. But I'd also ask Gaethje what he wants to do. Like if he tells me that he wants to try to get back his loss against Oliveira and possibly try to win the BMF title as in a scenario where it might be his last fight or something, I'd have no problem if they did that. And I do think it is also kind of ironic that, you know, me and you may have wanted Armin in that situation, but the cards fell for Gaethje being far more reliable. Armin, you know, just known as the hothead. I clearly do not think they could have trusted him to fight Patty for the, you know, first Paramount card. And everything fell into Gaethje's place and he took advantage of it. And now he's put his name in a whole different stratosphere. Like he was already there as an instant Hall of Famer. Now he's literally and rightfully in the pound for pound list. And yeah, if you talk about like fighting Armin and gain a victory there and gain a defense, you know, that opens up all these other conversations. So I'd be shocked if he retires.
And not even that, right? Now that he's won the title, like you mentioned, he was already probably going to be a Hall of Famer, right? Like we know that, but now you're a bona fide Hall of Famer. But also his story, right? The Justin Gaethje story is now etched in like in stone, like what he's done, right? Like this is a guy that nobody, you know, he was like in the World Series of Fighting or some shit, not, you know, some off promotion that's not even like a major promotion. Then they bring
which ironically fought outside. Sorry to cut you off.
Which then they bring him in here, right? And then he does this, and then you know he starts out, he's knocking folks out, but he's like in this kill or be killed all the time. Then he kind of, you know, gets a little patience, gets 2 cracks at the title, loses both, and then it's just like, you know, then we saw him get knocked out at UFC 300 the way he did, and you're really thinking it's over, and then he just finds time, and like you said, he was the constant professional, right? Like that's why he got the opportunities, because he was the constant professional, and he's always in. Everybody knows that he's going to be an exciting fight. You know, that's just the way his style is. Let me ask you though, for Ilya, do you think being at the White House in the way it was, like if that was at the T-Mobile Arena or some other else, do we get that result?
Yes, because I don't think it would have changed Ilya's game plan at all. Like him moving forward, trying to take his head off was not White House specific for me. I mean, he literally said he was going to knock out Charles in the first round. And I mean, if you go back to that first round in that Charles fight, he was kind of in there early. So
yeah,
I don't think whether this was at the Apex, the White House, the T-Mobile Arena, I think he would have had the same strategy. Now, in a rematch, does he do those same things? Obviously not. I mean, you would think he's kind of grown from that.
And there's no immediate rematch. Can we fucking squash that right off the bat?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's absolutely not. Gaethje actually said it best on the post fight. He's in the hospital right now. So why, you know, and that's legitimate. And then another thing I do in like completing the long night, you probably did not stay up to watch this because it was delayed, but the post-fight presser.
No, I didn't.
I appreciate how it was Dana with everyone that won on the card. So like he was sitting at the desk and then he had them all side by side. And that was pretty dope to just have them all in the moment instead of making it all about the Dana White show for, you know, 20 minutes saying essentially nothing. And, you know, this way you kind of got it all together and kind of gave those guys some extra shine. But yeah, no, getting back to Ilya, at minimum, I think he should take 6 months off. Like the double orbital, I mean, he got medically suspended for 120 days, but that you can make an argument that's a lifetime of damage in a career, let alone one fight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is how like greats are cemented, learning from their loss. I mean, look at Islam. Look at all the guys that are great. When
I
they
mean, look at
lose,
even Justin, the guy he fought, right? Climbing, you know what I mean? Like climb the climb the peak, and then and now finally sitting at the mountaintop.
Yeah.
For Justin, what's going to happen. It's already Max and Connor are next, right, in next month, and if Connor wins, Connor's going to call out Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're Justin Gaethje, why not?
I don't know how he would make 55 though. But I do agree that is probably what they're waiting for. The thing the reason I think they're hoping that happens is because that would give the UFC, I don't want to say leverage, but like Conor is clearly trying to get out of his deal. So it will give them a kind of reason to be like, hey, we're giving you the title shot, but we have to extend you because you are not winning this title with no fights on your, we're not going to create another frame. So like from that standpoint, I think it's way too much of a layup for them to do it.
Yeah.
But even with all these upsets, I still think that's a tall fucking ask, but I do get the thinking behind it.
Yeah, agreed. But I do think Armin's kind of been there, and he should be next. 2 stellar wins for Gaethje right now. I mean, he's fighter of the year, right? Like, I mean, here we are. Him or Sean Strickland.
Well, that's like the even more kind of wild because if you're comparing upsets.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the bigger upset? Sean Strickland beating Hamzat or Justin last night?
I have to say Gaethje because basically the way Sean won, I thought that would be doable. I just didn't think he'd be able to kind of maintain that.
Yeah.
To where Gaethje, I mistakenly just left him at the curb and should not have. And
we're sorry, Justin. We here at Headkicks and Haymakers owe Justin Gaethje an apology, and we are sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt he gives a fucking shit. He has 2 titles. Because like
a shit ton of money. He got a shit ton of money. Yeah.
Because I thought like the UFC America belt was pretty fucking corny. But I will say maybe that's because I saw it on Cyril Gahn. I'm glad that it got put on Gaethje.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, that actually is not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And, it clearly meant something to Justin. So if there's anyone that's going to have success in that moment that deserves it, he's paid for it in full. So very happy to see it.
Yeah. And as far as for me, for Ilya, I do think like there's obviously a lot of fights at 155 that, he could still have. And now guess what? Like, even if Patty wins or loses next month, you could make that fight. You could make the Ilya Patty fight now, whether he wins or loses.
Yeah, no, he has a ton of options. I mean, that Gamrot. I mean, there are a lot of good matchups you could do with him, and I don't think it would be a scenario where he'd consider going back down to 145. I mean, he was pretty clear when he moved up. He couldn't do that weight cut anymore. So I think his permanent home is going to be at 155. My only request going forward is I never want to hear anyone mention Islam versus Ilia Topuria again. That died on Sunday.
Yeah, agreed. I'll agree to that as well. We will not be seeing that. I want to get to the co-main event, Bobby, and Cyril Gahn knocks out Alex Pereira and is now the interim second time somebody second time he's been the interim heavyweight champion. I was surprised at this fight. I know there's a lot of, Alex has now gone kind of on a weird campaign. I've never seen him take a loss this bad. Like, I thought he didn't look good in the fight, but this Herb Dean cost me the the punches in the back of the head. First of all, you got put down. Like you were already put down. You know, I didn't think it was dirty fight night. I get the slow motion, but I think, you know, I thought Herb did an okay job. But I mean, Alex Pereira has gone on a full-fledged bashing of Herb Dean, called for an immediate rematch against Cyril Gane. Does seem like he's now going to stay at heavyweight because he also entertained Josh Hokett, who we'll get to later. But your thoughts here on the co-main in the aftermath of Alex Pereira's, you know, media campaign here that, it's weird to me because we've seen him lose, right? We saw him lose to Magomed, took it like a man. We saw him get knocked out by.
It kind of reminded me a lot of on Goliath, honestly, but worse.
Yeah, well, like the way he lost, or just Magomed, like period. Like
how he was addressing it afterwards. Like, you know, he brought up the sickness.
Yeah,
and like I don't think he like once gave him credit or anything. And but yeah, I'll get to Pereira's whatever that is next, because Gane deserves the credit. You know, I was very clear last week that I thought more than likely he probably could win, but I just refuse to pick him. It was just like, you know, I'd rather just be wrong and hope for the best. But, you know, to Gane's credit, he looked like the natural heavyweight in there. He was light on his feet. You know, Pereira immediately started throwing the high kick, and, you know, Gane was ready for it. It really seemed one step ahead of him through most of the striking exchanges. I loved how he was kind of fake shooting for takedowns, or like some of them weren't faking, but it was just more like giving the idea that it could go there. And then, you know, when the round concluded, Pereira did land his first like kind of clean combo, but I think that first round absolutely went to Gane. And Gane in no way looked tired. He looked like he was ready for another 5 rounds. And then, you know, the second round starts and he kind of goes back to more of the, you know, fake shot. And then because Gane was having issues hitting Pereira with the jab. Like, that's Gane's best weapon. And with Pereira's stance, he was avoiding it for most of that first round. When he kind of faked the shot and then came back up and hit him with it, it put him on his ass. And I don't know how anyone can claim that is a lucky shot. That just sounds like sore loser energy to me.
Right.
And every time I've watched it like 4 or 5 times now, because I'm trying my best to be objective about this. And you have to understand, this is coming from someone that did not want Gane to win, felt kind of sick when it happened. But the more and more time has gone on, I'm kind of glad that he won, because like he clearly won the fight. And there might have been 1 or 2 back of the head strikes that were going down. But the more and more I rewatch the fight, I see less and less fouling. And it especially like with him being able to get back up, and it's not like Herb Dean did not give him every fucking chance in the world. And not only that, Herb Dean saved him from being memed, because if he got one more shot in, he would have been out cold. He was already out up against the fence, and Herb Dean stopped it. So if anything, Pereira should be thanking Herb Dean. Now, and you know, granted, we have our issues with Herb at times, but I really feel like this is more one of those scenarios where he knows who Herb Dean is, he knows who Gane is, and he is just really, I don't want to say exaggerating, because he did get hit with those 2 shots, but I have never seen someone that, like, we were literally, you were going to ask me if he won, is he the greatest of all time? This is not how the greatest of all time acts. This is loser fucking energy. And like asking for an immediate rematch, who wants to even see that? Like, if anything, this is the best thing that could have happened for the sport itself, because now
because now we get the
Aspinall-
Alex
Yeah.
Gon, or we get the Tom and Gon rematch that we needed,
a
right?
fight
Like,
that we were already intrigued and wanting to see. And
yeah,
Cyril Gahn said, yeah, no, fuck that noise. I'm getting that fight. And, he looked gassed after the second round only because he went in for the finish to put Pereira out. It's not like he was looking sluggish. Like, I thought Pereira looked kind of slow and stiff compared
maybe
to.
do you think the extra weight like made him that way? Like, did you think putting on the pounds?
I think he just did it too quickly. Because like John Jones, he took
He
his
took a whole
time.
year.
Yeah, almost 2, I think.
Yeah,
And I do think there are other fights for him at heavyweight. It seems kind of like a layup to do Hokit, but there are other matchups there as well. I don't know unless Tom is in some type of dispute, and Tom was very clear that he's willing to fight Gon in November. Um, I don't know how you could justify an immediate rematch. And like the more and more I watch it, I feel more confident about that. And I don't know if it's because of Pereira's comments that, or, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible about it. But I rewatched it 3 times before he had that interview. So it didn't like really shift much focus. And I don't know. I'm not trying to like really kill him because I know he can obviously come back from it. I'm not foolish enough to like just count him out. Same thing with Ilya, you know, but they were not the better.
difference is Alex is at the end of his prime. Like, he's about to be 40.
And I think that's kind of the problem with this scenario because he just is like, no, I don't got much time. I want to redo this now. And that does not work for the division.
No,
Because unless there's something with like Tom getting cleared or not being ready, I don't know how you could justify a rematch of that fight. Like, we have our fight that we want to see. Pereira, if you're really trying to come back in September or whatever you're saying, there are plenty of other people for you to fight. Get a win at heavyweight, and then I'm sure they'll give you the winner.
right, yeah. And so we know it's gone. Aspinall. I hope Tom said, like you said, Tom was on his YouTube and said, "Oh, September, I'll be ready. I'm ready. I'll go there. I'll fight." Yeah, if he's back to training allegedly, so hopefully, I don't see it obviously because that's not like a pay-per-view, and they're not going to roll out the heavyweight championship unification. I think more MSG November, which I actually called at the beginning of the year. I said I think that's probably when Tom will fight again. Would be a MSG hopefully, and I still think that could be the time where he could win the regain the title, I guess, or unify the title, however you want to call it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking for Alex. The layup is Josh Hokit, right? Like, and I think Hokit might win. I'd favor Hokit maybe in that fight.
It's too easy of a fight to make. I mean, I thought the only thing would be Pereira maybe not wanting to do business with him, but he's already indicated he'll fight whoever they give him.
Yeah.
And you could do that, or there are other fights they can give him.
Volkov?
See, I don't know if they go that high. After seeing what they got from him, that's like the one reason why I don't know if they would give him Hokit.
Do you do it? The Jamal Hill is now moving to heavyweight. Do you do a Jamal Hill Alex Pereira rematch? Hill also called out Hokit, so
I'm all. When I saw Jamal saying he was going up to heavyweight, I almost was wondering if it was to get that Pereira rematch, but he's called out Hokit. And, Hokit had a big week. A lot of people are going to be calling him out. I mean, you literally have people moving up weight classes to try to fight him.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting where Alex goes. I do think I think the Hokit matchup makes sense. Hokit's been prodding at Alex multiple times, so I think Alex would probably want to try to shut him up a little bit. Go ahead.
The main reason I hate the comments is because he have literally said nothing and they would have almost, a lot of the fan base probably would have given him the mulligan for those back of the headshots. And it was, he was trying to achieve greatness going up to that third weight class. That not easy. So,
and he still can do it, right? Like he can still become the third. He can still win the heavyweight title. Like as we know, in heavyweight world, you're only 1 or 2 fights away. So he could literally win still win the heavyweight title and would still be the first ever person to have 3 belts.
Yeah. In theory, it is still possible. I'm not going to count him out because he continues to prove people wrong. But I do think Sunday night mainly highlighted how difficult of an achievement it actually is.
Yeah.
And because especially like when he went down and lost, you remind really fast, like it's not like he's invincible. We've seen him lose many times. But I don't know, like if we get a rematch of that, I would obviously favor Gane, but I wouldn't like rule it out that he could not win. But Gane looked a lot faster and more comfortable in there.
Yeah, agreed. Let's move to the third fight, and that was the O'Malley knocks out Ahmed Zahabi. I loved O'Malley's walkout again, and O'Malley just gave us the nice salute. I don't think it was. I didn't think that was an early stoppage. Zahabi was pretty much out of there. O'Malley's just got to sit and wait and pray that Peter Yan beats Merab, right? Or you just do the Peter Yan, whether Peter Yan wins or loses, and that's the fight they got to make? You're muted.
I don't know. With Yan like in the hospital and stuff, I really wonder like what the time frame is going to be with that. He probably is able to sit out, but the problem with sitting out is you don't know how long that fight's going to be. The main thing this Zahabi fight reminded me is, fuck, I wish this could have just been Corey Sandhagen. So
yeah,
maybe they could do that fight. And I'm not trying to shit on Zahabi, but I don't really understand the type of game plan to just spam leg kicks and thinks that would be enough to kind of shut him down. But O'Malley did everything he needed to do. He was kind of predicting and calling for the knockout and then acted on it. So that is a good feat. And Zahabi was on a huge win streak. So
yeah. Zahabi was on a 7-fight winning streak. So the rankings right now, Sean has moved up. He's actually passed Umar, who is number 2. So,
yeah, and that was kind of the one I was thinking, because I know Umar's without opponent, and it's rumored that they're replacing him with Song. To me, Umar is just such more of an intriguing fight. But at the same time, I think the UFC would want that to be like a title fight if they did or something. Right. So but he's probably I don't want to say with his favoritism, but he probably could just wait to get the winner. But at the same time, he might.
Well, if Merab wins, you can't do that again.
Yeah, probably not. But
so he's got to hope that Peter wins the title. Right, like Peter retains, and then he can get the title. Even if if Yan loses, you do O'Malley Yan, or if you could still do Sandhagen if Sandhagen wins next month.
I don't know. I mean, the thing to me is just because they can't do it doesn't mean they won't try. If Merab wins, I could see them turn him around in like 2 months' notice.
I don't need to see O'Malley. I don't need to see O'Malley Merab through.
Yeah,
it makes no business.
Yeah, I just more question if we're getting that fight in 26 now, the rematch of Yan Merab with hopefully maybe I should go off Peter Yan posting photos of him in a hospital bed, but I'm just hoping that he is able to get back because there's absolutely no reason he should fight compromised. He should wait to be 100%. So
Right.
I doubt it would be a scenario where they would do an interim. I think they would just, kind of push it off. But, Corey Sandhagen could have a really good performance, and maybe O'Malley actually wants to fight him because that I think that's the most intriguing fight you can do over the Jan fight, just because we haven't seen it. It's fresh.
Agreed. Yeah, same. Yeah, I think Umar probably beats Sean because of the wrestling, right? We know that was kind of Marab's. Umar has a similar style, so but it'll be interesting kind of what happens. But I mean, Sean I don't know what Zahabi's game plan was, other than just those leg kicks and then they weren't really doing a whole lot. But it was, at the time I was like, I don't really know who's winning this fight because not much was happening, and then it was over when it was over.
Well, if you're listening to Rogan, you would think they were gonna have to amputate O'Malley's fucking leg. So, just the typical embellishing. Had to get in at the White House.
Yeah. I was surprised we didn't hear more. How did this guy make 185? I think Rogan was reading comments and was like, I'm not going to say it too many times.
They all seemed very nervous too. There was a lot of kind of botches and stuff throughout the broadcast, the live weigh-ins, and it's understandable. They're on such a different stage than they're used to doing it. So, but yeah, and fight didn't really last long enough, and he didn't have any moments to do that either.
Yeah. We had the Hokit Blades, or Hokit and Lewis. Josh Hokit he could have finished Derek, I felt, in the first round. I mean, he was joking that the arm bar, he knew he was just fucking around with the arm bar, allegedly. I mean, he's probably too good not to, right? But Derek Lewis just didn't look like he didn't want to be there, and definitely didn't want to see the second round at all.
Yeah, I mean, Hokit was playing with his food in the first.
Yeah.
He could have gotten a finish, and he was just like, no, I'll just let it go the second round, finish him on the feet. And, all respect to Derek Lewis, but this is essentially what I thought would happen. Hokit would he's just too athletic compared to Lewis. And, he was just keeping on the feet. And it was an impressive win, even though, Lewis is older and stuff. Like when he took him down and just essentially knew that Lewis could not get back up and just beat him upstanding, and that was pretty telling. That Hokit was saying all week, like, don't quit in there, and he essentially quit in there. And like he was trying to like catch him with his uppercut and stuff, but after the second round, the output was insane in the difference in strikes. It was like 42-6 or something.
Yeah. Derek I love Derek Lewis, and he's the knockout king, but I think it's time for him to put the gloves down. Like, I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I do think it should be Hokit, and I think Hokit and Pereira makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, they're going to book Derek Lewis to main event a fight night. I hate to break it to you.
Oh yeah, I know
that. And yeah, I mean, Hokit just makes the most sense. If they don't do Hokit Pereira, give me Hokit Volkov. I think that would be equally entertaining. And Hokit is really good. I still do have some question of these like really top guys at the top just because of his size, but it doesn't seem to affect him at all. And he is a very good fighter. I mean, it's, say what you want about the personality, he understands what he's doing in there.
Hokit moved up to 4. Hokit moved up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Sergey,
like one above Waldo, right?
Yeah. Him and Sergey would be a good one.
Yeah, Sergey would be another fun one. I mean, any of those guys at the top, but especially with Gon fighting Aspinall, I think that's why Pereira Hokit makes the most sense. I mean, for Pereira, that's your best way back to the title shot. And obviously for Hokit, that would make him undeniably one, even though, Volkov also deserves the fight, which is why I kind of wish, in a perfect world, they just do 1 versus 4. Because,
Yeah,
keep in mind, this would be Pereira's second fight at heavyweight, and he's not even ranked there, but it's heavyweight, so we'll pass it.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, who knows? I was saying, like, if when Gable inevitably slimes out his opponent, is it too much of a jump to do Gable versus Josh Hokett? Because, like, that's a really intriguing fight to
It
me.
would that would be that's let one of them catch the title and then do that, because like that would be a fun one.
Yeah, I think it would.
But yeah. I mean, Stevenson, we obviously know whoever signed up. I don't even. They've set his opponent. I mean, that guy's just there to get crushed. But it's like when they would bring in the enhancement talent to like fight, like Goldberg or Brock Lesnar when they were like coming into WWE, and it's just like, here's this enhancement talent against Brock Lesnar. That's
a great fucking comp. They're already in the ring.
Yeah.
That's a on point comp.
That's what's going to happen with whoever signed up to be Josh Hockey. Like, yeah, that's kind of what, and really, it's kind of what Mike Chandler was on Sunday. He was just there, Bobby, just there. He got the shine. He wanted to fight on the White House lawn, and Marcio Hoofy said he should never fight ever again after what he did to him. That fight, Mike Chandler offered absolutely nothing to Hoofy. And Hoofy is now, I just looked at, he is in the very highly ranked in the lightweight division now. Where did they put him at? Here it is. He jumped 2 spots. He's now 7. So is it time for Hoofy now to fight one of these top elite guys at the time?
I thought you were going to ask me, is it time for Chandler to retire?
I mean, it is time. It's past time for Mike Chandler. Chandler's no longer in the rankings, so there's that.
What else is there to say? But like, this is probably the most expected thing to happen. Chandler, it looked like Chandler wanted to take a takedown, but
couldn't get it.
At the same time,
he just doesn't seem like, he seems like he's 30, 39 years old, right? Like he's looked like the same bounce, the same explosiveness. It's all gone. It's gone.
I didn't think he could look worse than he did in the Patty fight. And Chandler said, "Hold my beer. I'll see you at the top."
He's reaching Tony Ferguson levels.
See, I would, I guess that's fair. But I mean, it is baffling that like kind of what we think about him isn't like really reflected by his record, because he's given us some, that Gaethje fight was a very fun fight, even though I did not think he won a round of it.
The Poirier fight was a good one. He won a round in the Poirier, almost was winning really.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for your services, Chandler. But I do, because I've seen some people say like, oh, have him fight like Terrence McKinney or something in a retirement fight. And it's like, so you just want to see him get drubbed out one more time? Like, why don't we just, but
Drew Dober, I think him and Drew would be a good one. Kind of the last of the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he can't have fun fights. I just don't know where his path is to get back to a victory. And by that, I don't understand what the point is.
Right. Yeah, I think the Conor thing didn't do him any favors, and he taken that whole year off, and he has looked awful.
That killed the prime of his UFC run, not his career by any means, because he had plenty of a career. But once he let that air out of the balloon, he almost, like, even in the Patty fight, he looked just deflated, like, oh fuck, I was waiting 2 years to fight Conor and instead I have to fight this younger guy. And if you're Conor McGregor, how are you not watching that fight like, motherfucker, I should have taken this fight? Like, I mean, that was like the easiest fight to get Conor back to win, almost telling like the UFC does not want Conor to win his next fight. I mean,
yeah, we'll see. As far as Hoofy, do you give him one of these Charles Oliveira type?
I got a better one. Gamrot. I think we will get all of our answers with Gamrot. I love that he is with Volkanovski's team. They seem to train him in these bad positions, and he knows what to look for. And Gamrot very well might be a step too high on that litmus test, but literally, if he beats Gamrot, he can fight for a world title. So I do think Oliveira would be a little bit of a step too far. So that's why I landed on Gamrot.
Yeah, I like it. He's actually Hoofy's ranked higher than Gamrot by 1 right now. So I mean, you know, you're going to go big. You might as well go big and go for Charles Oliveira.
You want to talk about rankings? Explain to me, like I'm 5, how Cyril Gane is ranked below Pereira in the pound for pound list.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Like,
I hate AI, but bring it on. Like, these people that do the rankings don't have a brain.
Oh, he is. Alex Pereira's 8 and Cyril Gane's 12.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna keep disrespecting Gane, and
how does that happen when he just beat him?
I don't know. I'm just gonna rage out if I actually try to break it. It's ridiculous. Let's just say that.
I mean, Gaethje got was pound number 4 in the pound for pound list, so there's that.
Justified.
Yeah.
You know, you could be
Ilya with 5 and you just beat him. He just beat, and not just beat him, like beat the brakes off.
You can make an argument he should be higher.
Yeah, you could make a case that he could be 2. I mean, Volk, right? Like if you do MMA math, you know.
And then not to like continue doing the MMA math, but like Khabib's last win in the UFC is aging like fine wine.
Right. We had the other. Speaking of guys being ranked, it is now official. Bo Nickel back in the rankings at number 15. After he beat why is this white boy's name escaping me with the blonde hair on Sunday?
Kyle Dawkins.
Yeah, I was thinking Drickus, but that was who he already loved. Kyle Dawkins. I mean, knocks him out pretty much. I mean, takes him down. They stand him back up. Then he knocks him out. You know, Bo Nickel, you know, has bounced back nicely here after that tough loss to RDR last year. And, you know, he's 2-0 since, and now he's ranked. I thought he looked good. I think it is time. I'm glad he's ranked because I do want to see, like, they gave him a huge name at once. And, you know, that's kind of aged pretty well, that loss to RDR, right? Like, it aged beautifully. Like, RDR's went on a nice little run. You know, but you look at these rankings, just like, man, who would he fight next? It's like, I think the next guy would be Roman Dolidze, who's 14, really makes the most perfect sense.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to like how far do you want to push him? You know, Bo was able to get that takedown early. He cut Dawkins up on the ground. It eventually got stood up, and Bo looked a lot more comfortable striking with him. Like, he didn't immediately shoot or anything again. He just straight finished him on the feet. And I don't Bo probably was one of the ones who had a lot of pressure on him for this event, and he exceeded all those expectations. And for me personally, I put a little bit of hype back in the train of kind of the Bo Nickel machine. I do feel like if you're doing Dolidze, that's just like not pushing him.
But Jared Cannonier?
That's actually who I was thinking. I mean, he, at the same time, you can make the same like older in the tooth argument,
Well, and
But
a guy who's fought for the title would, you know what I mean, to kind of build off of.
yeah, or what about RoboCop?
I think RoboCop. Fuck.
Because the size, yeah. I
Size
do
and
find,
just the power.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, bottom line with him being ranked now, he is kind of gonna get his second round of wave of these guys.
Yeah.
So
I do think Cannonier makes a lot of sense, though.
yeah. And like bottom line, he is clearly getting better in each performance.
Yeah.
Putting his
young.
hours in, getting more comfortable in there. And he's
the guy's
still
only had 10 MMA fights. Like, can we he's, you know what I mean? Like, yes, he's a career wrestler, all-American, but he's only had 10 MMA fights or 11 or something, whatever it is.
That's like imagine how good he could be in like 2 years, you know?
Right. Yeah. I agreed. And then to open up the card, I mean, we booked it as maybe the fight of the night, and you know, Steve Garcia was winning that fight, but then he made the fatal mistake of, as far as I'm about to get in the firefight with you know, like I said, what Justin Gaethje does, he takes you to the deep waters, loves the phone booth fights. That's where Diego thrives too. Diego thrives in these wars and in the chaos. And Steve stepped into the fire, and he got put down in the fire. You know, and had he done kind of what Volk had done, Volk was smart, right? Like cut, you know, circled, you know, and everything else, and couldn't, you know, Diego would not engage into the Diego fire and chaos that he wants, where he thrives in. And he did that, you know, Steve Garcia did that on Sunday, and he paid dearly for it.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking really good in the first round. Diego seemed to have an issue of like getting going, but Garcia was pressuring him, making Diego kind of fight with his, you know, back up against the fence, and clearly was winning on all the exchanges and killed him with volume. But Diego never really looked flustered or anything like that, and kind of went back to his corner, and more or less, like you said, Garcia invited it, and I don't want to say underestimated it, but you know, he probably should have pulled back when he got hurt, and he figured, no, I'm just going to stand here, and it's like that will not work with Diego Lopez. And you know, he was clearly out. I mean, good stoppage, but he definitely got put out. So I mean, I basically consider that a KO, not a TKO.
Yeah.
But Diego Lopez continues to like do these big moments at big events with like UFC 300, the Sphere. This one absolutely felt like the biggest. I was kind of bummed out that the broadcast did not follow him over to the Ellipse, because he pretty much went there and was celebrating with all the fans. Got probably one of the best receptions of the night, I was told. So you know, that was like one of my few negatives of the broadcast, is that they only panned over to the Ellipse in the main event. Like, you could have been doing that all throughout the fight with these results, because those were the people that were really, you know, going crazy and shit. But you know, Diego just his only loss is to elite guys in the division. One's about to fight for the title, the other is the current title holder. So I was thinking he should go up to like 155 after this, but after how good of a fight he had there, the move is to definitely stay at featherweight. But
yeah,
Lerone Murphy, cool to see him do the double weigh-in too. That was
Lerone Murphy kind of called Diego out. I hate that one. Diego's had words with Yair Rodriguez at a time or two, so I wouldn't even mind that one either.
I would take either of those.
Yeah. I agree with Rob here. They should have had someone reporting from the Ellipse. Yeah, that would have been cool too.
Especially Rob. So they had Senko there the whole time, and she was the one like talking to the crowd. So they literally could have just put a, you know, earpiece in her ear and pan back. Like, you have someone that is trained talent to do it. And, you know, granted, there was probably so much stuff they were focused on at the White House. They didn't want to like have too many cooks.
Cut out some of them bullshit commercials, and we could have got them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have took that over all the AI slop.
Yeah,
but you know, other than that, the rest of it I think went off without a hitch. But Like for Diego, I would take I would prefer Lerone Murphy probably. Like Lerone Murphy or Pico. I think those are two very interesting fights.
Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to say for Garcia, that's who should be next is Pico.
Yeah, I think Ali is going to make sure his client is fighting someone that's coming off a win, but I don't hate that matchup at all.
Yeah. Are Yusuf Zalal and Steve in Garcia? Zalal's coming off the loss. Garcia's kind of coming off the loss.
Yeah, that one would be fun, especially with Zalal's style. That and Garcia just moving forward. You can definitely do that.
Yeah, my final thoughts here. I just want to kind of wrap up UFC Freedom 250 before we look into the Apex card this week, real quick. They just nailed it, and I would love if they did something special once a year, right? Like, they kind of story of the sphere in the sphere, like the Mexican history. The US one kind of was a miss. I think it was because it was like AI and not in the arena like it was at the sphere. Like the sphere was cooler because it was like in the arena on the screens, where this was just kind of like I don't know, it was just kind of it was a little miss for me, but I understood where they were trying to do. But I would love that they just did something like this one time a year, just once a year. Like, why not do the outdoor arena in Japan and tell the history of Japan's fighting or something? You know what I mean? Or something cool like that. And do the live music and the live band. Like, I enjoyed thoroughly of it. I thought at all the things, I thought this was the best. I thought this crushed UFC 300. I thought this crushed the Sphere. The Netflix card didn't even hold a candle to this. We don't know how many people watched it, but I watched all those, and I can tell you that this one was the best one. As far as like entertainment, fights, the packages, all of it, right? Like the whole pack, the whole deal. This was the best thing they have done in a very, very long time, maybe ever.
Yeah, no, I mean it shows exactly what they are capable of.
Nobody does a better production than TKO. I said,
that is why the AI infuriates me, because they have such a good production crew and stuff. And there are a few like hosting the 9/11 servicemen and stuff at the event when there's a fucking Riyadh season logo that is literally in the same thing. Like, come on, dog. Like, that is fucking wild. And I don't know how they got away with like the sponsorship aspect of it, but no, I do not think they will ever do it again, Rob, just because the cost.
Yeah, I don't think they ever do it again either.
Yeah, Dana wanted nothing to do with it. Like, you could tell he was happy it was over.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is the one thing I do find funny, because like I appreciated the entire event as a whole. I thought they hit it out the park. But then again, at the same time, when they're trying to play the whole angle of it is not political, and then you have a Truth Social ad on the cage along with Turning Point USA and Riyadh season, it's really kind of hard to claim that. Like, yes,
my biggest
fan can enjoy it, but we're not as retarded as you think we are.
My biggest complaint of the whole night was, what the fuck was Tyson with the deal with Tyson Fury?
Oh, that was a simple flex. They were pretty much bringing him out there. Oh, wait, this guy isn't allowed in the country. Yeah, we brought him to the White House and we have him on our broadcast. That was nothing more than a flex from Zuffa Boxing. I know they announced nothing.
Fuck you, Eddie. Fuck you, Eddie. That was a big fuck you to Eddie.
To boxing specifically.
Yeah.
It was just because like literally everyone that is instrumental in them getting the Revival Act passed was present there at the White House.
Yeah.
So, again, not really trying to talk the politics of it, but you would have to be a moron to not acknowledge that everyone is around there and that is how they're getting the legislation through. And then, they just decide to bring Tyson Fury out. Like,
I felt bad for John Anik because like Anik's trying to get Fury to announce whatever the fuck is going on, like why he's here, and Tyson really wouldn't do that. And then Dana, he's like, I'll leave it up to Dana. Then we never got any sort of fucking announcement.
Yeah, well, because it's literally just a flex. Because like Dana waited for him to ask the question, and you just saw him immediately smile, and it's like, okay, he obviously wanted this question. He's like,
yeah,
I thought we couldn't get him in the country. Like I said, judge me next year. And it, to me, all of it is, the Fury thing will probably be on Netflix, but it is just kind of that flex from Paramount as well, saying like, hey, we actually have a TV deal in boxing. And they've taken the shows on the road. So I think that had a lot more meaning than it just like killing airtime and stuff like
I just
that.
thought it was, I didn't like it. I was like,
well, it's because you didn't want to break up the pace of it, because we had 7 fights, 7 finishes, so everything was moving great.
Yeah,
and
then he gets, I didn't mind, I wouldn't have mind if like if they're like, if like, holy shit, Tyson Fury's here, and they show him and then they interviewed him. But like, I didn't need to see him fucking do the whole fucking walkout. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was something fucking special. Like he's the guest referee for fucking the main event or something.
Yeah. Again, I find it just more of like a blatant flex of, oh, this guy's not allowed in the country because of his connections. Well, we're going to have him walk out in the fucking White House. Like, just the sentence alone just sounds like I'm a schizophrenic person on the street. But that actually happened. And that is fucking insane.
It is. Bobby, again, they crushed it. I think we're all in agreement. Like, all the politics bullshit aside, it was an absolute incredible night for the sport. And it's why it reminds us why we love the sport. And we're going to go from the penthouse to the outhouse this week. While the main event is incredible, I do agree with that. In Kape and Horiguchi, a very, is a very interesting flyweight, a very important fight at flyweight. Maybe the winner, it could be next for the title. But the rest of the card is kind of a little lackluster. And, the rest of it ended us at the apex at that. So,
I mean, the main problem is we are literally going from the card of the year to anything else. I mean, oddly enough, Manel Kape Horiguchi is my most anticipated fight of this month. So I'm extremely excited for that one, obviously. I kind of hate that the UFC is not running it as Kape Horiguchi 2, because it clearly was. They fought in Ryzen. Great fight. Horiguchi took an illegal shot and still was able to figure out a way to come back from that after taking the time and finished Manel. Obviously, that was some time ago. Manel Kape has gotten a lot better, a lot of power, but I'm really excited for that. But I do think, like, especially like the main card, there's some fun stuff on here. Navajo Sterling's been on his run, so they got him in the co-main slot.
I just realized Loke Dog, Vinicius Oliveira's making his featherweight debut.
Yeah, and then C-Rod is a fight on the card, and then you got Magomedov. So I mean, that main card is pretty stacked. And yeah, the Feely debut for Oliveira, I think that's a good fight considering Feely's last performance. So that should be fun. The more daunting thing is, like you said, going from the high production back to showing up to work in your pajamas. A Dana White throwback quote, I might add, why he said that eventually we'd have to get out of here. But, we all know it's the norm.
Yeah. Horiguchi's slight dog on this, plus 135, by the way.
I kind of get it just because the age, even though he has the victory over Manel, and Manel has, his power is just insane, and he looks like one of those, you know, guys that really should be fighting for the title. Like it could have just as easily been him fighting Joshua Van if he was able to stay on weight. But I'm a lot happier we got this because I think this is just very intriguing. Especially like if Gucci wins this, man, you can make an argument that he should just fight the winner of Pantoja Van.
Well, I think
Um,
either one,
Either
right?
one, yeah.
Yeah, either one could very well be next for the title. So Navajo Sterling's been on a nice little run. I don't want to shit on this whole card, but it is what it is. I'm surprised. Vinicius Oliveira's minus 285 as well. So he's pretty heavy favorite. So any other who are you picking in the main? Real quick.
Andre Fili didn't get any respect in the odds in his last fight, and he won that one too. So I don't know if they're thinking
close fight, though. Close fight.
Yeah, I don't know if they think like the weight difference might. I think putting Vinicius's last performance on his weight cut and stuff, even though I think there are some valid unanswered questions.
Philly lost his last fight out to Delgado by split decision. Remember?
He lost that fight, really.
Yeah,
I don't know why. So I thought he won.
So Feely his last 5 lost, win, lost, win, loss. He won against Rodriguez split decision, but back in March, lost to Delgado by split decision.
Okay, well that's probably why Oliveira's a minus 285 then.
Yeah.
So, as far as the main, I'm really up in arms about this. Because it's basically a pick'em, right?
Yeah. I mean, Kape is just a slight favorite.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense with Manel's power and stuff. I probably should be picking Manel, especially I do want Horiguchi to win, and I kind of did the feel good picks last week with Pereira, and we saw what that got me there. But I do think Horiguchi can like fight through some bad moments, and he will be very good at getting it to the ground. But I also am just nervous that he's gonna trade with Kape, and that's just gonna be all she wrote. So I'm probably gonna go Manel here, but at the same time, no, fuck that. I want the feel good story. Like, give me Gooch, give me Horiguchi. Like Manel.
I'm going Horiguchi as well. If Horiguchi wins and gets the title shot, how about that? Like, damn near 10 years apart, right? That's got to be a record, like the longest like title fight between title fights, right? Like it would have been like almost 10 years since he fought Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, and I
think
mean,
11 years.
Yeah, he's had a really good career. He had a lot of success in Ryzen. So, it would be a kind of a cool feel-good story. But at the same time, Manel is at the top of the division for a reason. He was absolutely having his moments in the first fight. And I think he's obviously more equipped to handle a lot of the wrestling and grappling that Horiguchi is going to want to use. So he should be the
fight winning streak. Horiguchi's on a 6-fight winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
He had one that was a no contest. That would have been maybe 7 against Takahashi. I was trying to find when he lost. Oh, yeah. So April 25th, 2015 is when he lost to Demetrius Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's been on a hell of a run, so I'd love to see it continue. I mean, the fact with his longevity that he's 36-5 is pretty wild. Like to only have 5 defeats.
Yeah. Listen to these 5 defeats.
Yeah.
Demetrius. Well, okay, wait. Let me back. Some guy I never heard of, and Makusa Ueda way back That was way back in January 8th, 2012. Out of when he was fighting in Shodo Survivor Tournament. So then he obviously comes to the U.S. He was on a run. Finally fights Demetrius Johnson. Remember, Demetrius tapped him out with like 1 second left in the 5th round. I actually just rewatched this fight not too long ago. But it was it was 4:59 in the 5th round. So 1 second left in the 5th, and Demetrius finally tapped. But I mean, Demetrius was winning the fight. It's not like he came back to win. But then was on a nice went on another long ass winning streak. Obviously, mostly in Ryzen. There was then he loses to Kai Asakura in Ryzen, but then beats Kai Asakura in Ryzen. Then he has the back-to-back losses when he's in Bellator, or when they did the Ryzen Bellator, when he lost to Sergio and Patchy Mix. Well, that loss hasn't aged well, the Mix loss. And since then, it's gone on a nice run. So that 7-fight winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, that longevity is very I mean, I'm going to rewatch half of those fights on the Ryzen Pass there. I was planning on trying to rewatch that entire event that him and Kape fought on before Saturday. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be razor close, but I want Horiguchi to win. So I'm just going to pick him, even if I think Mandel's going to win.
Yeah, I'm going Gooch. Let's go. I think Gooch gets it done.
Keep it running, Gooch.
Yeah. Bobby, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I think we basically covered it all. I am extremely happy that Islam versus Ian Gary is announced. Took long enough, but the summer is going to be packed. And now that the White House is over, I do think we're going to get a lot more announcements to fill out the rest of the calendar year. So
we already got Aaron Blanchfield versus Jasmine Chazadavicius on that Philly card. The co-main will be Julian Robertson versus Mackenzie Dern for the strawweight. So
thank you for listening, UFC. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun before Wei Lee ruins everything.
I want Wei Lee. I need Wei Lee to come back. I got her on a future,
Oh, for this year?
Yeah.
It might come down to December, brother.
I got 3. I had 3. I placed 3 futures. I placed Pantoja. I had to place Pantoja and Wei Lee. I think I parlayed those. And then I did Umar on a single bet. So I kind of need Umar to start being a little active and get a fucking, But yeah. I'm a little nervous about the Umar.
Yeah, I don't know when we're getting Jan back. That's my main worry. But
I do have. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the summer is loaded, and it's just kind of gonna keep getting better. We got a solid 2 months coming up.
Yeah. I want my last RAF. Please stop with this extra bullshit. I was all about it. You guys were doing great, and now you're doing this every fucking time. There's some bullshit gimmick shit that's happening.
You can't tell me they didn't want that bullshit to happen.
Oh, they do, because that's how they get eyes on the product. Yeah.
Why else would you book Dylan Dennis versus Chimaev? The most predictable shit ever. And
Dennis I'm with you. A bunch of Muslims been happening for over a decade.
Yeah, I mean, Armin, stop doing RAF and fucking train for Gaethje.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Wow. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. That's got to be his walkout song for life, right? And let him continue to wear the White House shorts, I feel like Gaethje. But pulls that off better than he does those black trunks.
Yeah, it's so much better than the custom black ones they gave him. I agree. They absolutely should let him come out to those next fight. He earned it. Yeah. And that's the fighter that it really means something to.
They agree.
Why not let him come out with it and rep it?
Yeah, and let him walk out to fucking Ain't No Grave every time. That shit. They need to make a playlist. I'd listen to it. The whole playlist, the whole fucking thing. Give it all to me.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. They probably have it on Spotify.
No, not yet, but they need to.
Oh.
You can probably find it on YouTube, I'm sure. Or you can watch the walkout at least. But I need John Anik and everybody talking just so I can listen. Nonetheless. All right. Shut up and watch the fucking fights at the Apex, baby. We'll be back. No programming note. No show next week. I'll be out of town. So we're taking the week off. And then we'll be back the following week. That's not the Connor fight, is it? Nope. I don't know when that is.
No, it's the one that's in a site fee country. I can't remember.
Oh, Baku. Because Baku.
We'll make sure to open up touching on the results of Gooch Kape as well.
Yeah. We'll have to touch on that, and then it's the Baku. So we'll touch up on the that, and then by the time I come back, that'll be June 27th is that weekend, a Saturday. So we'll miss that. Yeah, we'll preview. It would be the Connor fight.
So you're gone 2 weeks or one?
No. And next week we would cover the Baku. The Baku is next Saturday.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, sorry, Baku. Fucking.
Yeah. Then it's UFC 329, July 11th. So we'll be, that's when we'll be back. Right? No, we'll be back before then. I don't fucking know. We're off next week. Nope. We'll be back July 1st. Yeah, July 1st. So there is no UFC July 4th weekend. That's why.
Oh, yeah. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of shit to talk to.
We'll talk about
we can put the White House in the rear view mirror, because that would be a year when that thing got announced, because I remember it was on 4th of July weekend. So, yeah, it'll work.
Yeah, we'll talk about the results of this weekend and the Baku weekend. And then the following Wednesday will be the Connor card. So there's that. We figured it out. Look at us. All right, well, so make sure you just subscribe, share, hit that bell so you know when we're back live. But we will be out next week. Other than that, enjoy the fights this weekend. Hopefully you have a great weekend. For my guy, Bobby Blunts, I'm Bodkins. We'll catch you next time on Headkicks and Haymakers, baby.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.